This is the new Skoda Fabia, and it's a bit like one of the Hemsworth brothers because it's also one of three, because underneath the skin it's pretty much identical to the Volkswagen Polo and the Seat Ibiza. But which Hemsworth brother would the Fabia be? Now in this video we're going to find out, because that's really important, right? And to do that I'm going to talk you through the exterior design, the interior. I'm going to see how practical it is, I'm going to try out its tech, I'm going to also take it for a drive. Anyway, I'm Matt Watson and you're watching CarWow.
Buying a new car? Then head to CarWow and my team will help you find your next car at a fair price. CarWow, your one-stop car buying comparison site.
Let's start this video by talking about the design of the new Skoda Fabia. So this is an all-new car, so everything you see, new. If you look at the grille, it actually mimics that of the Enyaq, but obviously this isn't an electric car. You can't get an electric version of this actually. Now you get LED headlights as standard, and high spec versions get fog lights as well for a bit more of a sporty look. If you want to, you can pay to have the surround of the grille in different colours such as grey or black, make it look a little bit meaner, if a Fabia can look mean. Now one of the things they've worked on with this car is the aerodynamics to make it as efficient as possible, and that's why all cars get little vents in the lower part of the grille which can shut when the engine doesn't need cooling to reduce drag. The aero theme continues down the side because this new Fabia has smaller door mirrors than before, once again to reduce the drag. In fact, the design of the alloys help reduce drag as well. Look at that. So these are 17 inches, but the biggest wheels you can get, 18 inches on a Fabia. They're the smallest wheels on the entry-level car are just 14 inches, and they're steel with plastic trims. Ugh. You don't want that because this car does look smarter than the old one with these creases, just makes it look more expensive, as does this chrome trim that you can get with the car. I also like the two-tone roof. You can either have it in black or grey. Here at the back, the angular theme continues, and the new Fabia has a bit of a roof spoiler, some shapely tail lights. Unfortunately, they're not LEDs though. You can get them optionally, but not as standard. Why not? Skoda's very proud of itself now. It's got its name big and bold across the back of the car, and lower down you have black plastic trim there which contrasts against the bright paintwork on this car. Now the Skoda Fabia starts from just under £15,000, and if you're thinking about buying a new car, make sure you check out CarWow to ensure you're paying a fair price. Now you can do that by clicking on the pop-out banner up there or following the link in the description. Also, if you're thinking about buying a new car, you're probably going to have to trade in your old car, and to make sure you're getting a fair price for the car you're wanting to sell, you can also do it through CarWow. All you have to do is upload photos of the car, brief description, and our dealers will bid on your car to make sure that you're getting a good price for it. And the price that you're quoted will be the price that you'll receive. They'll even come and take your car away and just give you the cash. It's easy. Now, if you're wondering what that weird noise was, I think it was in an ice cream van in October. Anyway, we're going to break for a bit and have some ice creams. Here on the inside, this new Fabia looks pretty snazzy. It's a very British word for you there. It means it looks kind of cool. So there's lots of shapes and surfaces going on. Look what they've done with the door handles. That's kind of cool, though in practice they're not the nicest to hold or shut the door with. The dash itself, they've been quite clever with this. So even though it's a hard brittle plastic on the dash and on there, because it's textured, it actually looks quite cool. Then there's this little strip in there which is really nice. You've got some fabric on the dash as well which lifts it, and it's got some stitching. I think this robot might have been drunk when it was stitching this one because it's a bit skew-if, but never mind. Oh, look at that. You've got Fabia written here on the instrument binnacle. It's interesting. Also, the steering wheel looks pretty nice, and it's like a two-spoke design like you get in other Skodas, and thank God it doesn't have touch-sensitive buttons on the wheel. It's actual physical buttons which you press, which are much easier to use than touch-sensitive buttons which you're getting in some other VW Group cars, such as the ID3. Moving on to the infotainment screens, you can get a horrible little 6-inch screen on the entry-level car. Blah. Then there's an 8-inch screen, and then there's this large 9 or so inch screen. Now the infotainment system is okay. It can be a little bit laggy at times, and some of the menus are a bit confusing, but you know what, you're just going to plug in your phone and use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. One thing that I'm happy about is that, unlike on some other Skodas, the climate control is separate. Physical buttons down here, not annoying menus in the screen, though you can actually fine-tune the climate here on the screen if you want to. Shut up, fan. Now, mid-level cars and above have a digital driver's display, which is pretty good as well. I like that. Lower spec cars, though, have just normal analog dials with a horrible little LCD screen in between them. Ugh. In terms of the driving position, you know, Skoda always get this right. There's plenty of adjustment in the seating and the steering wheel. So that's good, as is the practicality. So you've got a little bit of storage under here with a 12-volt socket for old-fashioned charging. There's also some cup holders there, which is removable for some reason. The glove box is an okay size. There's some storage there with 2 USB-Cs. And if you look here, there's a charging pad on this particular car. The door bins are huge. They can hold a large bottle. So I'm very, very satisfied about that. And there's even this little extra bit of storage down there where you can like leave things and forget where you put them. This new Fabia has about 10 extra centimetres between the front and the rear wheels, and that means more interior space, and you really notice that here in the back. Knee room's pretty decent, headroom's good as well. Ooh, you probably noticed, look, you can now get it with a panoramic glass roof, which is lovely. Makes it feel nice and light back here. Also, it's dead easy to fit a baby seat in here because there is so much room. And it helps that, look, you've got Isofix anchor points which you can easily get to. You don't have to flip over any covers or just try bodging in between the seat fabric. And you don't even have to move the front passenger seat forward when you spin the seat round to make it go rear facing. It is surprisingly big for a small car. And you have stuff like this, look, there's an armrest, cup holders. Shame they're not hidden, but you know, it's an inexpensive car. I am impressed. And you've got big door bins. Look, you can fit big bottles in them like that. Plus, you have a little storage pouch there for a mobile phone, then a bigger pouch here as well, and 2 USB-Cs for charging your mobile devices. Lovely. Another thing that's big about the Fabia is its boot. It's got a capacity of 380 litres. It's the biggest of this size of car. For instance, the Polo, which is basically the same car underneath, its boot is 350 litres, so 30 litres less. A Ford Fiesta's it's less than 300 litres, so this is like 80 litres bigger than a Fiesta's boot. It's insane! And it's got loads of cool features like hooks to hang things off, hooks on the back of the seats, little storage compartments. It's great. However, if you want a car with a bigger boot than this, which actually works out the same money because of carwow discounts, I'll put a link to it up there. Click on that pop-out banner or follow the link in the description to find out what the car is and what the carwow saving is. Now, of course, if you need to carry big things, you can fold down the seats in the back of the Fabia like that for even more room. Now, you'll probably notice this ridge, which makes it hard to push things to the front. Now, you can actually get rid of that with a false floor that you can get for this Fabia. Unfortunately, they've made it optional, so you have to pay extra for it. And that brings us to 5 annoying things about the new Fabia. Skoda has taken the time to design a little seatbelt runner there. However, the way this part of the seat bends out means that the seatbelt never sits in it. Look, it goes like that. So when you fold down the rear seat, that happens, and you put it back up, and then that happens, and it just ruins your day. The Fabia has some big vanity mirrors, which is good. What's not so good is that they don't have their own little light, so you can't really see yourself when it's dark. Only top specification cars get a central armrest here in the front. Also, the armrest itself, you can't extend it, which means it's pretty useless anyway, because look, I can't quite reach. No, I'll just use the handbrake. Oh, I can't, can I? Because when I'm driving, it's going to be down. Rubbish. I don't like it when car manufacturers put the controls for the cruise control hidden behind the wheel because you can't really see what's going on. Also, when it's low down like this, if you're really tall, you can sometimes bang your knee on it and activate cruise control without actually needing to. The panoramic glass roof is lovely, but if it's a bit sunny, you obviously want to shade yourself, but there's no integrated shade. Instead, Skoda give you this thing that you then have to sort of fit somehow. Can't be arsed. It's not all negative though. Here's 5 good things about this car. The Fabia comes with a range of standard Simply Clever features, including an ice scraper and the fuel filler cap, which is also a magnifying glass. A little storage bin down here with a bottle holder, which if you don't like, you can just simply remove. There's a little rubbish bin in here, look. I'm not sure how much you could actually put in there. There's a little clip in here for your parking ticket, a holder for your pen. There's another clip for a parking ticket up there if you want to display it. And this cup holder has little feet in it so you can open a bottle like that one-handed while you're driving. And I need that for the next Simply Clever thing. The cap for the windscreen washer fluid doubles as a funnel, so even if you're a crap aim, you should be able to get water in the right place. You can imagine how messy my toilet is. And finally, mid-specification cars and above get an umbrella in the door. Yay! For an extra £185, you can buy some more Simply Clever stuff for your Fabia's boot, such as this little storage area here where you can probably put bottles of wine in there. It's removable if you don't want to use it. You also get this little hammock where you can put your shopping in like that, so it doesn't all slide around when you're traveling back from the shops. And then check this out, my favorite thing is this. If you've got a dog, there's this little protector for the sill so that their claws don't scratch your nice paintwork. If you're unfortunate enough to have triplets, fortunate, then you'll be pleased to know the Fabia has Isofix on the front passenger seat. Come on, get in. Look. Done. You can get mobile phone and tablet holders for rear passengers. But is it big enough to accommodate my Galaxy Fold? Let's have a look. Oh yes, fine. Look at this, the rear windows go all the way down, which is quite unusual nowadays. The Skoda Fabia is available with 3 different petrol engines. You can get a 1 litre naturally aspirated, a 1 litre turbo, or a 1.5 litre turbo petrol. And power outputs range from 65 horsepower, which is pretty puny, to 150 horsepower, which is quite a lot. Now, lower power cars get a 5-speed manual, higher power cars get a 6-speed manual, but you can also get the car with a 7-speed automatic. I seem to be bothered by a wasp here. It's probably cross because you can't get the Fabia with diesel or electric power. No electric version. That's nuts. Anyway, what I'm going to do is configure my ideal Skoda Fabia using the carwow configurator. So my ideal trim, engine, and gearbox, and hopefully I should get an offer back from a carwow dealer. And yeah, if you want to see what the car is and the offer, click on the pop-out banner up there. I'll follow the link in the description. Hopefully I'm not going to get stung. I think the wasp's actually attracted to this orange paint. Now let's see what this Fabia is like to drive. First thing I noticed, stands out straight away, the comfort. You know, this thing goes over bumps really, really well, just smooths them out. Small cars can sometimes feel a little bit jittery over bumps, but this one, no, just soaks them up. That is good news. Visibility is generally pretty good. Good view out the back window, decent view at the front, big side windows, and even though those door mirrors are smaller to improve aerodynamics, you can see plenty of them. Now, this manual gearbox, it's fine. It does have a slight notchy feel to it. That's the only slight problem, but the clutch is nice and light, and the brakes, they're fairly strong, but not grabby. I like that. Steering, it's that usual Skoda thing of not having loads of feel, but who cares, because it's not supposed to be a sports car, but it's accurate and it's light, which is more important when you're trying to park this car. And thankfully it's quite easy to park because it's small. Now, when you get out onto faster roads, while this car isn't sporty, it still handles pretty well. So it'll grip on and go round, and it's fairly fuss-free, which is what you want, really. If there is one slight problem, it's the fact that you can't get electric power with it. So this one has the 110 horsepower 3-cylinder turbo petrol, which is nippy enough and it's fine for on the motorway. However, in town, it does feel a little bit vibey. You can feel the vibrations coming through the pedals and a little bit through the steering wheel. And if you rev it out, then it starts to get a little bit gruff. If you want a small hatchback that's electric powered, click on the pop-out banner up there to check out my pick of the small electric cars. There's also a link in the description. One of the things I will say about this engine though is that it's got enough pep that this Fabia does not feel out of its depth on the motorway. It can easily keep up with other traffic and overtake. Speaking of which, this car's actually pretty decent on the motorway. It's got good sound insulation so you don't get too much wind noise. The seats really comfy over longer distances, and generally it feels like a bigger car than it actually is. Overall then, this new Fabia is rather nice to drive. So then, what's my final verdict on the new Skoda Fabia? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should shortlist the Fabia. It's a bit of a shame that there's no electric only version and the infotainment system is a bit, but it's still a really good small hatchback. I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you did, give it a like. Let me know what you think of the Fabia in the comments below. Click on these windows there for more videos, and on that box there to go to carwow to see how much money you can save on a new car.